one sec, and let me see. I don't usually use Zoom. I usually use Teams. So let me try to find things. So I just need to turn on my camera.
It should be on the bottom left, right around here, I think.
Yeah. Just one sec.
So I'm just going to well, I will start recording as soon as your camera is up, and I will read a brief text to inform our viewers of basically what podcast series this one is, and briefly introduce you, so that if people are on our website looking at different podcasts, they know whether this is the series on SDGs or what series it is exactly.
Yeah. So let me see. Sorry about that, and I'm trying to turn it on. Yeah.
If you would rather use a different platform, we could do that.
Oh, yeah, like this works as well. Yeah, so I'm just like, let me see. I'm worrying that if I try something, I may accidentally hand this up. And sorry about that. And it just
no worries. I am in no hurry, sir. If you are not in a hurry, then I have absolutely no issue in waiting.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm clicking it, and yeah, you know that, like, I think the reason, maybe I apologize, that somehow like my MacBook just broke, and so everything happened at the same time. So I just switched to the Windows. So I'm not like a very good Windows user. So it seems that like there's a setting somewhere with my system that it doesn't allow me to use the video camera. I super apologize. Everything just happened at the same time.
Oh, no worries. I mean, we could also do an interview without your camera and just put a picture of you maybe on the.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean,
that's okay with you. Yeah, I apologize. Yeah.
No,
so
if
like,
that's okay with you, I believe this is going to be fine for us as well.
So my Mac just broke yesterday, and so I guess I switched to my Surface, and the Surface is a Windows system. So probably I needed to set up something about the video camera, the webcam, etc. But I didn't do it. I apologize.
No worries, no worries. I will take maybe your picture from your university website or from your LinkedIn.
For sure, or I can send you a picture if you want.
Oh yes, I would like that. That
so after this meeting, I can send you my picture. I super apologize that like,
no
everything
worries,
happened at the same time. Yeah, I was about to send my Mac in for a repair like in the next couple of days, but sorry about that.
Don't worry. So a very warm welcome to you on behalf of AI Policy Labs to our podcast series on a very pertinent topic today, which is AI and Sustainable Development Goals. I am Luigi Fiora, Research Associate at the Labs, and I am currently based in Turin, Italy. AI Policy Labs is a global initiative which has been set up with a vision to explore emerging technologies and assess the impact of intelligent automation, digitalization, and artificial intelligence on policymaking, implementation, and governance. Our primary focus is to explore the role of AI for public goods and AI for social good. Given the rise of automation and the uses of artificial intelligence and other emerging technologies, it became extremely important to ask ourselves, with only a decade left to achieve the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals, what role can AI play in achieving these? Will the new generation of technologies take us closer or far away from our global goals? With a vision to build discussions on these important issues, we have launched a program on AI and SDGs, which will comprise of podcasts, webinars, research reports, expert opinions, and articles to be published on our global channel in partnership with the Graduate Institute at Geneva. To introduce our expert today, we have with us Professor Howard Lee, professor in electrical and computer engineering at the University of New Brunswick and co-author of the paper AI, a Key Enabler of Sustainable Development Goals. Thank you very much for being here with us.
Thank you so much, Luigi.
So, Professor, in your view, is AI acting as an enabler or an inhibitor for achieving SDG number 4 on education?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So I guess just same as every other tool, any other technology that as human beings we have invented, there are always like a pros and cons, and there's benefits, and usually there's like a challenges that like new problems that we need to solve as well. But in my view, that like the AI, it can help with the like equitable education and quality education. Like speaking of quality education and speaking of how to use the new tool, this AI, I can think of a few areas that it may help with the quality education. For example, with the machine learning and AI, and we will be able to personalize the performance of students. So AI will empower and better collect the information from students and educators. So they help educators to create personalized learning plans for each student. And for example, many of the software companies, the education companies, they have already invented like a new software that we can use to help personalize students' learning. And the second benefit is that with the help of AI, we will be able to break the bias. And human bias, like it continues to hold education back just because we're human beings and we're always biased. And when we look at the students and we like instead of like being very like objective, and we sometimes like we in our mind we may just like have like other information processed just because every educator has different background and they have their own preference. So in order to eliminate the bias with education, and then AI can help with the like education solutions, and AI can be used to grade papers to eliminate the bias. And the third benefit is that we will be able to use AI and machine learning to provide assistance to educators. So teachers can connect with students very well, but teachers are very busy. And so there's a lot of administrative work that the teachers will have to do. So with the help of AI, and the teachers will be able to focus on the students. So the future classrooms, they will include AI assistants. And then AI assistants can deliver essential services such as grading papers and doing the administrative work. So in general, I can think of like there are 3 major benefits of using AI for inclusive, equitable, and quality education. Thank you so much.
So since you talked about equitable, I wanted to ask, wouldn't investments in the field of AI further increase the comparative disadvantages of those communities that are either too poor or too remote to access expensive hardware, such as computers or an internet connection? So this may in fact increase inequality, like giving an advantage to those students who live in wealthier countries. What do you think?
That's another very good question. So like since we all know that AI is just a new tool, it's just like the invention of computers, it's a new tool, and it's also similar to the Industrial Revolution. And it's new tools and new technologies, and as human beings, we want to use to improve the quality of life. And because like currently there are more wealthy countries and also there are less wealthy countries. And so with the AI aided instruction, and like you mentioned that like for less wealthy countries, like students may not have access to the internet. And but still AI and machine learning, like as a tool, it's a very helpful to help students in like less wealthy countries. For example, for students in remote areas without access to the best instructors or best professors, and we will be able to use AI and machine learning as a tool to bring quality education to their classrooms. So there are software tools that students will be able to use. And also, like as we all know that the pandemic proved that AI and machine learning can help to deliver high quality education to remote areas. For example, that like currently I have students in my class, they're not even physically, they're not even in Canada, but they can still attend my lectures and complete assignments. So they receive the same quality of the education as the Canadian students. And but right now, like physically, they may themselves, they live in a less developed country, but they will be able to receive high quality education. And another thing is that even for students without the internet access, and we all know that like right now there are like, for example, there's the MIT open 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 courses that you can take. So the best professors, they will record their lectures. So for students like in remote areas, they will be able to receive the same quality of the education, even if they don't have internet access, that they can watch the recorded videos. So I think that like you're right that there's challenges that for students in remote areas without the best equipment, without the high-speed internet, but still AI and machine learning can like fill the gap to help them to receive better education. Thank you.
So another issue you brought up in your first answer is the issue of biases. And as you know, currently less than 20% of your colleagues, of the people who are currently studying AI and developing what the future of AI looks like, are women. And the majority of the researchers come from the global Northwest, which would be mainly North America and Europe. How do you think this inequality could be addressed? And do you think that these can transfer into biases into the AI? That is, the perspective of the people researching AI might transfer into the logarithms.
Yeah, that's another great question. Yeah, so like since we all have different backgrounds, and so like you mentioned that like probably more like AI researchers, they are located in Europe and North America. So which means that when they develop tools, and probably they're more suited to like the culture and also the users and the students in Europe and North America. And but since it's a tool, so eventually there are more and more like researchers and educators in other countries and other areas such as Asia and the Middle East and Africa. They are also trying to develop their own tools that will like meet the requirements and also solve the problems in their own countries. So like which means that as human beings, we, all the countries will have to work together to try to accomplish that goal. And also like since we know that AI usually is not like biased, so because machines and computers, they will just follow rules. So which means that like many of the tools that like we develop in other countries can be hopefully can be transferable to another country and another culture, so that like we eventually we will be able to help the less developed countries to also to achieve better, higher quality education.
But do you think universities should take some concrete steps, such as, for example, offering scholarships to women who are interested in studying in STEM subjects, or maybe offering governments offering studying opportunities for young scholars from poor countries? Like, should there be some concrete action on this,
Yeah,
or do you think that the technology is able to remain unbiased despite the imbalance in the research?
yeah. I guess that's another great question. Yeah, speaking of women, so like you mentioned that because like right now like there are less women as AI researchers, and but compared with 5 years ago, like 5 years ago there were about like just 14% of all the AI researchers they are female, they were female, but right now like about like 20% of all the AI researchers they are female. So like step by step, and we are making it like better towards the right direction. But speaking of that, like we do have like a few like pioneers in AI. They're female. For example, the VP engineering of NVIDIA is a female, and also one of the best AI institutes like on this planet, like the MIT C-Cell, the director of the MIT C-Cell is a female. So Professor Daniela Ross is a female researcher. And also like one of the best AI researchers, like at Stanford University, and also one of the best researchers in the world. Professor Fei Li is a female researcher. And so actually Professor Li, she actually did a lot of work and to make AI more inclusive, equitable to like all human beings and also women. So she started this organization called AI for All, just to make it more inclusive. So like I like if you don't mind, I want to quote what she said. That she said that our technology is not independent of human values. It represents the values of humans that are behind the design, development, and application of the technology. So if we're worried about the killer robots, we should really be worried about the creators of the technology. We want the creators of this technology to represent our values and represent our shared humanity. So like with what she suggested, I guess eventually, to answer your question, eventually that like really like AI is a tool, but as human beings, we want to try our best to make it more inclusive. So, and also like, I think that like women, they actually, they have like their, they can, they have their own perspective, and because of the gender difference, so women, they're natural when connect to people. So if we want to use AI for people, and so I think that like female researchers will become better AI researchers, and just because like they care more about people, they care about our students, they listen to our students, and they make like the technology like they use this technology to better meet human beings' needs.
Thank you. And as a last question, the collection, use, and abuse of the massive amounts of data used to train and to feed AI may expose people, with the data owners, to risks that they were not even aware existed. What steps can be taken to mitigate these risks?
Beautiful. That's another great question. So I think there are like mainly there are like two approaches right now. We're trying to like, I mean, as human beings, we're trying to take two approaches to address this privacy and this data issue. So the first approach is more direct. So by saying more direct, I mean that there are like organizations, they try to prohibit and monitor the use of personal information by AI and technologies. So they're trying to make sure that like there's less, or hopefully there's no negative impact on people of color, women, religious minorities, members of the LGBTQ, and persons with disabilities. So like the approach is that like we try to monitor and forbid the use of data to against like people with less advantages. So, and also like people like, for example, like new immigrants and other vulnerable populations. So they pretty much like they want to prohibit the use of the data. That's the more direct approach. And the second approach is a little bit less direct. It's indirect. So their approach is that they try to use legislation and to make sure that like we want to regulate how the data is processed and to hopefully identify the discrimination when using the data. So for example, they try to implement a risk assessment, transparency, explainability, and because we all know that like with the AI, sometimes it solves problems, but you can't explain how the AI works. So they try to make sure that like we will be able to explain it. And also we want to audit the use of AI. So with this indirect approach, so what this group is trying to do is that we want to make sure that like the decision-making process is monitored so that like we will be able to minimize the risk. So eventually, like I think that like in order to address this issue, and we will need to have like a better regulation. So as human beings, like with this invention of this new tool AI, as human beings, we need to have regulation in place to protect people. So the tool itself will not cause problems, but it's the people who use the tool that will may, if they're not regulated, and then the companies, big companies, when they use data, if they're not regulated, they may cause potential risks to the end users. So I think a good example is the EU's GDPR. So that's probably like the first step of human beings towards the regulation of AI and machine learning. And although it's not perfect, but it's a good start. So I'm pretty sure that over time, that like as human beings, we will understand this problem better. We will have better rules and regulation in place to address this issue.
Thank you very much, Professor.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for your great questions.
So I will, as soon as you send me the pictures, I will start edit a bit the video to cut out the beginning and the end. So we leave only the interview, and then I guess within a couple of days it will be. I will be sending it over to you as soon as it is published, and we'll keep you updated as to when we're done with the whole podcast series. We'll probably write a report.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much. And I will send you the picture right after this meeting. And also, by the way, that like I visit Pavia every year. So hopefully this November, if the travel restriction is released, and then I will be able to visit Pavia in a few months again. So like,
nice.
Italy is a great country, and I really love it. And I visit it every year. So I have like a good colleague at the University of Pavia that I visit every year. So it's not very far from where you are. So
no, it's not very far, especially by North American standards. By European standards, it's a bit far.
That's true.
So, yeah. What's the name of your colleague? Does he also work in AI?
That's true. Yeah, his name is Tulio. His family name. Just give me 1 second. You know that like I'm not the best person to remember all the family names. And just let me
because we're always looking to find more experts to interview for a podcast series if he might be interested, if it's relevant to his work.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So his name is Tullio Facchinetti.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Facchinetti. Sorry about
Yeah,
my
yeah, with an
pronunciation.
A. Faccinetti. Ah,
Facchinetti.
yeah.
Yeah,
Facchinetti.
yeah, yeah.
Perfect.
And also there is another professor at the Polytech Milano.
Yeah.
Like, let me find his last name. Francesco Amigoni.
With a G. Amigoni.
Yeah, 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 with a G.
Francesco
Amigoni.
Amigoni. And you said this is from Milan.
Yeah, Polytech Milano.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, also very close to you.
Yep, very much.
Yeah, so they all do like I guess like both of them they work on AI, robotics, etc. Yeah, so like there are specific area probably like you want to talk to them, and
Yeah.
so you will have a better idea.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well, thank you very much, Professor.
yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much. And I will send you the picture. And thank you for your time. And thank you for the great questions.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah, you have a great day. Thank you.
You too. Bye.